people in it. Isn't that a requirement?
That's a really good question. I do remember. Well, if we have a that's nice. That's looking good. That's a really good question. I wonder if we have a recorder. It's like,
Here we go.
oh, that actually people were viewing it. I can get
I've never sat and done this before, so this is a new feeling. I like it though, I must say.
You look good.
You
look very after studio.
Yeah, right? This is a great ambiance, I'll tell you. We will definitely be back here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
How are we feeling? It's a good energy in here, right? Yeah, it feels right. Can you all hear me? Can you hear me in the back? Sherry, can you hear me? You can hear me? Okay, cool. Welcome to Creative Mornings. My name is Michael. I am the local chapter host here. A lot of new faces. How many people is this their first Creative Mornings? Yeah. Look, you get a round of applause. How often do you get a round of applause? Come on. We're a community here. Creative Mornings is actually a global community, but we have a nice community here. All the people that didn't raise their hands are frequent flyers, so to speak, because we just like to have a good time. We have good speakers, and we have a good opportunity to meet people, you know? Oh.
No.
There we go. So, like I said, it's a global community, and each month we have a speaker, and there is a theme, and the theme is chosen by a chapter, one of our many chapters. This month's theme is Journey, and it was chosen by the Muscat chapter in Oman. So again, global. And the other cool thing about this is that the illustration is created by someone from that chapter. So this illustration is created by Salim Al-Salami. And every month they provide kind of like a little narrative to kind of get us going. We'll also do an icebreaker that kind of is related to the narrative. Usually I read the short version, that's just like a paragraph, but I really like this one, so I'm gonna read the full one. So just bear with me. Let's go! Yeah. Let's go! Let's get out there and see what the world has waiting for us. By putting ourselves in a new environment or experience, we gain a different perspective. That sense of discovery sparks fresh inspiration. If your brain feels stuck, try moving your feet. So, let's travel somewhere we've never been. Either down the street or across a far-off border. There's so many places to explore. Or we can take a metaphorical journey, like unlocking personal growth and therapy, advancing our own career path, or undergoing a spiritual awakening. Or we can enjoy a journey into imagination through a book, film, or other work of art. As we travel through life, everyone you meet is at a different point in their own unique journey. Some of us know where we're going, while other paths are full of twists, turns, and obstacles thrown in our way. The trick is to embrace the detours and delays, because there are no shortcuts on a journey of self-discovery and creative expression. Just please remember, you are not traveling alone. Right? That was good. I really liked it. So, each month we do an icebreaker. Again, we're a community, so we like to chat it up a little bit. Obviously, we were all chatting before I started chatting. So, my question to the crowd, again, the theme is journey. Where are you hoping your journey leads you in 2025? January, new year, here we are. You've probably gotten something related to this question multiple times already. So, you can go off of your New Year's resolution, or if you just have some goals in mind for 2025. Just curious to hear from the group.
I'll start. I work with a business coach, and we pick a theme every year. And so my theme this year is, let me see if I remember it. I love alliteration. It's elevate and evolve. So basically what that means is I pick a theme for the year and then I apply it to everything I do. Does this elevate and or evolve me in any way? And so ultimately that's what, freedom is a big thing for me year too, but I feel like elevation and evolution is the goal. Every day, but really by the end of the year.
I like it. Also, big fan of alliterations.
Yeah. Me too. I'm
Right?
a sucker for
I
it.
just feel it.
Every time.
Yeah. We need an E for freedom, though.
I know.
We gotta come
It's
up
hard.
with that. Yeah.
Next one in the alphabet.
Escape.
Escape? That could, yeah, that feels right.
I'll take that one
Right.
too.
Yeah.
I'll add that to the list.
All right, who else? Oh, yeah, way back.
Balance.
Yeah.
Balance, yeah,
Balance in all areas.
absolutely, absolutely. A lot of head nods on that one. It's like, yeah, we need that balance. I need two more. Who's up? Here we go.
Okay, so I've had this dream for years of opening a creative reuse center ever since I visited one in California like 25 years ago, and this is the year we're gonna open in Columbus.
Yeah, come on. Yes.
Yeah.
Good deal.
So exciting.
Good deal. I was gonna say, yeah.
So
get into details.
ComoCraftCycle.com. We have a website. We've got a Facebook page. I'm gonna do a talk at some point this year.
Yep.
We're gonna open. This is kind of a secret, so don't spread it around. But
We're all gonna spread it.
open later this year in the Habitat Restore. We'll have an actual space where you can come and buy stuff. Feel free, you can donate stuff. So yeah, like us on Facebook. We've got a group and a page and a website and a newsletter. And if you want to be on our board, ComoCraftCycle.org is your name. Yeah, we want your stuff.
Yes.
So, and we have board members. So if this excites you, if you would like to join the tribe, please talk to me because we would love to bring you along for the ride. It's going to be wild.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Cool.
There we go.
Yeah.
ComoCraftCycle.org.
Yeah, that's with the raccoon riding a bicycle.
ComoCraftCycle.org, yeah?
Yep.
ComoCraftCycle.org. We're recording this, so like, and also, yeah, everyone's gonna know.
Oh
but-
God, it's all.
Awesome.
Yeah.
That's great. Yeah,
Very
super exciting. All right, one more. Who's got it? Where are you hoping your journey leads you in 2025? Here we are.
I'm hoping my journey leads me closer to knowing where my journey is.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yes. Yes, absolutely. Oh, that's a perfect one to end on. That's great. Awesome. Thank you all. Thank you. So, again, global organization. I just pulled these numbers. 244 chapters / cities. There's only one chapter in a city across 70 countries. That's pretty wild. Just to kind of put it in perspective, these are all the groups meeting today, even though they may have already met or they're meeting technically tomorrow. I don't totally know, but January 17th. Here we are, right in the middle. Bang! There it is. Like we got New York City. Is that Cleveland? Germany. Dallas is on there. Tucson. Probably Oakland. Yeah. So again, all these groups meeting Friday morning today at some point. Is that like NBA Steve Nash? Now, a couple shout outs to all of our sponsors. We have a global sponsor, Adobe. Thank you to our global sponsor, Adobe. They're on a mission to help people everywhere imagine, create, and bring any digital experience to life. In fact, they have a ton of quick and easy apps empowering you to create stunning social posts, videos, images, flyers, and so much more. Creative Mornings wouldn't be a thing without Adobe. So shout out to them and everything they do to support this global organization. Our local sponsor, Russell Bill, I don't know, I want to say October, was it? Was he the October speaker? Emmett?
I think so.
Emmett, owner of Russell Bill, was our October speaker, and he was gracious enough to sponsor us locally. If you have not heard of Russell Bill, just go on Instagram and look them up. It's awesome.
It's the sign downtown.
Yeah, the Columbia sign downtown, right at Providence and Broadway. He did that. He did the flyover sign. He's doing basically like every restaurant sign now. I feel like. Any new restaurant sign you see that's like made out of metal. Yeah, the Logboat Shark. It's very cool, and he documents his journey definitely give him a look. And if you need like, he does like really cool like staircases and stuff. So if you're in the market, check him out, Russellville. We got a lot of friends. I feel a lot of friend energy today. I don't know what that is. If this slide is actually helping now. But we love when you bring a friend.
Yes.
That's what we're here. We're here to grow this community. We're here to all be one big friend group. So bring a friend, but definitely make a friend before you leave. That's my favorite part of Creative Mornings is when I hear about people going to get coffee or going out to eat or starting something because they met someone here. It's a great place to find like-minded people. So, all right. So every month we read. I almost forgot the word month. Every month we read the Creative Mornings Manifesto. This is another thing that kind of gets us in the groove of things. I'm not gonna read it this month, so I do need a volunteer to read it. You don't have to come up here. I can. Well, I can't bring the mic too far, but yeah, I need somebody to read this. Who's up? Who
I'll read it.
Oh yeah, there we go. Actually, you probably don't need the microphone unless you want.
No, I will.
Oh yeah, here we go. Michelle's got it.
Hi, I'm Michelle. Everyone is creative. A creative life requires bravery and action, honesty and hard work. We are here to support you, celebrate with you, and encourage you to make the things you love. We believe in the power of community. We believe in giving a damn. We believe in face-to-face connections, in learning from others, in hugs and high fives. We bring together people who are driven by passion and purpose, confident that they will inspire one another and inspire change in neighborhoods and cities around the world. Everyone is welcome.
Yeah, thank you, Michelle. Everyone is welcome. Every third Friday of the month, we put this event on, and everyone is welcome. All right, so without further ado, what we're all here for, I'm going to ask our volunteer Lauren to come up and introduce our speaker.
My glasses, sorry. Elizabeth Jordheim's path to Serendipity Salon and Gallery has been anything but linear. A former educator and current working artist and cosmetologist, her diverse experiences have culminated in this unique space where art, beauty, and community intertwine. She's woven her passion seamlessly, proving that sometimes the most fulfilling journeys take unexpected turns. At Serendipity, she brings all facets of herself to the table, fostering creativity and confidence in both her clients and the artists she showcases. Creative Mornings Columbia is delighted to present her talents in unique space this month. Please meet the inspiring Elizabeth Jordheim.
That was very, very kind.
I chose to sit to speak to you for 30 minutes. You're a little elderly. And my comfort fan with me. Okay, are you hearing me fine?
Yes.
Everything okay? I'm chuckling at my choir folder because there's a little irony here that you might catch during the speech. So, good morning, everyone. Welcome to my space, and thanks, Creative Mornings, for having me here today. I'm really humbled at the opportunity to speak to all of these creative souls. I studied up a little bit on what Creative Mornings is, and I like it. I like the inclusivity, and I like the enthusiasm, and I like the manifesto. And I like the fact that there's a manifesto. The only hiccup for me is the morning part. I'm a night worker. Karen parents know me for over 20 years, and she's my fellow night worker. So people who have known me a long time can attest. But here I am, I'm upright, and I appreciate being here. I'm old enough to know this about myself, the night worker thing, and to accept that my body really is the boss of me sometimes. So I'm really grateful for your invitation and for your willingness to meet me and my eyesight where we are. So I have typed my notes in 20-point font, so don't worry that I'm going to be talking for 2 hours, page after page. So I'll be honest and let you know that I really resisted this chance because, number one, I truly am not at my best in the morning, and that makes me a little nervous. When my body and my brain do what they're supposed to do. And number two, I couldn't imagine what I would have to say that everyone here doesn't already know. I was grumbling about myself and my procrastination with preparing this talk to one of my close friends who does not mince words, and she said, you need to do it, because some people think you have an idea, you start a business, you're successful, and then you sell it for a lot of money, and then you're rich. So, by chance, there are people here who have questions about that process. I can maybe contribute a couple things. So the theme, as we've established, is journey. And it seems easy. We've all had one. We're all still on one, thank goodness. We all know the classic metaphor of an actual car trip as a journey through life or through the creative process. Plan, map, unexpected twists and turns, detours, roadblocks, crashes even, and then reaching the final destination. It works well. But I thought it might be fun. I just wanted to see what was up there. For myself anyway, to speak about journeying as it relates to the art of dance. So some of you may know that I'm a decent painter and drawer, and that I've been an art educator and preschool educator as well. I've worked professionally in those realms for several years, and I have done a good job, I think. I was a darn good teacher, and I did love it. And as a matter of fact, I intended to have that as my lifelong career. But remember, the journey with the twists and the turns, etc. So life happens and things do change. What you may not and probably don't know about me is that I have danced for most of my life, since I was 3, and that dance is one of my most true loves. Had I been brave enough to follow that dream all the way, who knows what? My first graduate work was in dance, and I sometimes wish I would have finished that master's degree. Unfortunately, it was happening in North Texas, and I just did not feel happy in that part of the world. So I stopped early, and I came back to the Midwest. It was also the beginning of a war called Desert Storm, and my dad was being called up from the Air Force Reserves to go, so I wanted to go back and help my mom if I could. Anyway, the dance thing didn't go the one way that it could have, but the gift of getting older is perspective. We get the ability to look back and see how things fell into place, and perhaps why. So I think this is an important part of one's journey, the looking back and appreciating where you've been and what it's taken to get to the present destination, the one you didn't exactly plan, the one you didn't know was for you, the perfect one. Knowing that where I am right now and what I'm doing is exactly right. Age and experience also give us the gift of knowing that when the journey is starting to feel a little weird or not quite right, or when it flat out takes a massive turn, that the next destination along the way will also be exactly right. It's nice to know that we can make changes and that ultimately those decisions are up to us. There may be circumstances we cannot control, but we can definitely choose how we experience them. So I was lucky enough growing up that I got to participate in the arts a lot. I was also lucky to have parents and grandparents, one grandma in particular, who encouraged and supported my talents. I studied piano, voice, visual art, theater, and dance. I wasn't great at all of these things, but I did get to study them pretty seriously, and I wasn't bad at them either. I gained confidence and got past my early years as a painfully shy little girl, but the one art form I was least confident in performing was singing. I did a lot of it, but just couldn't get over the hump of using my voice with joyful abandon. I could lose myself in playing some challenging piano music. I enjoyed the process of studying and creating art, and I could definitely shine with confidence on a stage dancing, but singing, no. So I get to William Jewell College and am miraculously chosen for the concert choir. This is the a cappella, top level, internationally touring group of which most members were vocal performance majors. And I was an art major who studied piano. I learned many lessons from that experience and from our highly admired and beloved conductor, Dr. Arnold Epley. The most important being, force yourself to sing with confidence. Why? Because if we were going to make a mistake in rehearsal, he wanted it to be done confidently so that he could hear it and correct it. If we're mealy-mouthing around and barely getting out a sound, he won't know if we need help. He would say, if you're gonna make a mistake, make it big. And on top of that, we were required to raise our hands if we did that. If we did sing a wrong note, acknowledging to him that we knew it, and also so he could have another way of knowing where to spend time working. He heard it. He wanted us to know it and hear it and acknowledge it. It wasn't some kind of shaming or confession situation. It was straightforward, individual, and collaborative learning and teaching. How else could we learn? It was hard. It was hard for me to give myself over to the process, to trust those working with me and teaching me, and mostly to trust myself. But I learned to lean into it, and even though I was no kind of music major, my concert choir experience was probably the most transformative experience of those formative years, artistic or otherwise. And I'm forever grateful to Arnold for this empowering lesson. So this is one way I live my life and how I approach my creative journeys and endeavors. It's not a go big or go home kind of thing, but more so a way to figure out what works and what needs to be changed. So back to the dance thing. If you think about it, a dance is a little journey all on its own. There might be a plan or a map in the form of choreography, or the movements might be completely improvised. There are starts and stops, turns, ups and downs, phrases that repeat, emotive movements, variances in tempo and intensity, fluid movements, sharp movements, stillness. A lot of stillness while I turn the page. There's going off stage and coming back on, partnering, moving in unison with others, moving in opposition to others, collaboration, trust, intuition, instinct, methodical and repetitive movements, and stillness. Sometimes the dance has music, which adds a whole other gigantic element to the piece of art. Two art forms combining to create one. Often the dancers move with the music in a way that is expected by the audience. The music crescendos, the dancers move bigger and more dramatically. The music gets softer, the dancers become more still. Other times the dancers move in ways that are unexpected by the audience. Maybe they're doing some frenetic percussive stomping when the music is quiet and smooth. Maybe they're giving a message. Maybe it's about the calm beneath the storm, or the storm beneath the calm. But one of the most powerful ways I believe dancers can express themselves is by moving extremely slowly or being very nearly still. It takes great strength, mental, emotional, and physical to do this. To keep the audience completely engaged and on the edges of their seats, not by doing many pirouettes or leaping higher than should be humanly possible or by doing 8 taps per second, but by having such incredible control over the hundreds of muscles in the body, by maintaining one's facial expressions to suit the dance whilst doing the intense physical work with the rest of the body, by connecting with the music so deeply that there is no veil between. The music and the dance have become one because of the dancer. And by connecting with the audience, not in an obvious way, but energetically. It's in the stillness, the power. It's in the stillness. And think about a dance class. Since some of you might not have ever been in a dance class, I can explain. In the beginning, the students have gotten ready, are in their favorite spots. The teacher leads everyone in a series of exercises that are the same every time. They start slowly and with small movements and gradually build to larger ones. The students learn the form of the class and generally know what to expect. This is so that they can concentrate on getting better and better at doing the steps or the movements. The exercises become part of our muscle memory. The idea here is that when it's time to create the dance, the artistic influences can flow without having to focus too terribly on the technical aspects. Your mind and body already know what to do. Now you're free to create the art. The middle of the class usually takes place away from the bar or up off the floor, somehow out in the middle. So now we're less supported by external helps, we're moving a bit more, and we're requiring more rigor from our bodies in terms of supporting ourselves. And the last part of class is usually going across the floor using combinations of steps and every bit of stamina we have. We are sweaty, we are warmed up, we have done the preparation, we feel strong and ready, and now we're dancing. It's the best. And every good dance class ends, too, with intention. For modern class, we do some cool down stretching and breathing, slowing everything and coming back to center, clapping with gratitude for our teacher and thanking her. In ballet, there is a really special type of ending called the reverence. It is so beautiful to me. The teacher comes to the front and faces the mirror. She performs a series of slow, graceful ballet movements and positions, different each time, as the students follow everything she does. It is such a powerful, unspoken communication between student and teacher, one of the greatest respect, honor, and gratitude for the class, for ballet itself, and for each other. There's usually some type of bow involved and then applause from the students at the very end, along with a verbal thank you. So from stillness, through a gentle series of thoughtful, intentional actions, adding more intensity as we go, and bringing it down with gratitude back to stillness. I studied as an adult with one of Columbia and Missouri's finest ballet teachers. I feel sure one of the finest anywhere, Halcyon Perlman. My daughter studied with her for many years, and I consider her to be one of the most influential people in their formative lives. She's a living legend and a treasure to me and my family. Anyway, Halcyon can communicate with her dancers in an almost imperceptible tilt of her head, a hand gesture that would be meaningless to a non-dancer, and even at times an eyebrow lift or a breath. No joke. She can help you find tiny muscles that you had no idea existed, much less how to make them fire. She is less than 5 feet tall, and I watched her draw the most beautiful strength and power from every bit of the long limbs of my 5'10" daughter. I tell you all of this because she is a master of her art. She has practiced it every day of her life. Her parents were dance teachers too. And she has proven for slightly less than 90 years that she knows how to do this thing called creativity. And not only does she know it, she shares it. My children and I have also studied, and I still do, with two other Columbia and Missouri living legends, Maggie Deathrow and Marie Robertson. And you may know them from dance arts. They are, in the words of Halcyon Perlman, absolute dynamos. They're twin sisters who are masters of their arts and who've shared it with thousands of students. These women have maintained a thriving dance school for many decades and have withstood the test of time, not without trials, by keeping true to their values and being living daily examples to seriously thousands of how to live and run a creative business with integrity, beauty, and grace. So why does this matter to us? Because it's vital for our own creative journeys to surround ourselves with people the likes of whom we would strive to emulate. We need mentors. We need teachers. We need people that we admire and who are willing and happy to teach us. Because if we stop learning and changing, well, what's the point? And speaking of learning and changing, it's important to continue to go to class. Whatever that means for you and your journey. You may be an artist of some kind, or you may be another type of creative, a business owner, professional, manager, whatever. It works for anyone. Unless you wish to become stagnant in your journey, studying, practicing, and sharing are all key. Okay, so you get the studying part and the practicing part. Find good teachers, go to class, and practice forever. Yep, forever. But the sharing part, we haven't touched on that yet. The performance. I can honestly say I used to be the most at myself, the most truly happy when dancing on a stage. I'm not exactly up to that anymore, but I did it enough that it's in my muscle memory. You go to class, you work through injuries or pains, you rest, you work some more, you are prepared, you're behind the curtain, in the stillness, and it's showtime. It's a little terrifying, unnerving at least, because crap, hundreds of people are out there. What if I fall? What if I forget what to do, etc., etc. But no choice, you're in now, caution and dance. Your body knows what to do because you've done the work to prepare. It's on autopilot. Now you get to enjoy the dance for the pure art that it is. The costume, the music, the audience, the other dancers, the lights, the applause is really wonderful. And then what happens again? The curtain closes and we're back in the stillness. But now it is to feel pride and joy in what's been accomplished, to revel in the happiness that we just experienced, to take a beat and breathe, and to hug our friends and teachers. The dance happened, the art was created, and then it was given away. That was it, and it was fantastic. It's good to feel pride in one's accomplishments. I'm gonna jump from dance class and the stage back to my present reality, which is as a business owner. I'm the founder and owner of Serendipity Salon and Gallery, Serendipity Wellness Studios, and Elizabeth Jordheim Hair Artist. These businesses are pretty self-explanatory, and if anyone has questions about them later, I'm happy to answer. Now remember, I was the dancer, artist, art educator, early childhood educator, then mother of two. I mean, I've also been a bank teller, a server, a nanny, a retail manager, a house cleaner, a muralist, a lawnmower, a professional building painter, a gallery associate, and a ranch hand. And don't think I wasn't creative in every single one of those roles. And you can probably guess I've not been the girl who makes a plan, draws a map, puts her head down, and follows it all to the letter to completion. I do make plans, and I've even made maps. And I've definitely put my head down and worked hard. But I tend toward the path of following my instinct. I try to listen carefully to myself, to the advice of those I trust, and to my greater angels. This way of traveling through a creative journey is not always the easiest. Sometimes I think, man, I should be doing X, Y, Z, or gosh, somebody with a business degree would be better at this, you know, whatever the case. But since I've chosen to take this big public creative journey of business ownership, and since I don't have a boss or a principal telling me what to do, I'm in charge. And since I'm in charge, if I'm not going with my guts, then what the heck am I doing it for? So I do my best to trust myself. I try to get wise counsel from friends, colleagues, and family. I try to listen to my audience and my patrons. I try to fit my work into the greater community surrounding me. I try to flex and bend and adapt consistently. And I try to do that thing I mentioned earlier. I try to share. In talking with my husband not long ago about what my career actually is now and what it's always evolving into, I was trying to put a name on it. Entrepreneur sounds so not like me, and it just didn't seem to fit. So I said to him, you know, I like to create, I like to process ideas, I like to start shit. I'm a shit starter. Cracked me up too. But that didn't sound quite right. So not to mention I don't really like to start shit in order to sense of the term. I had another clarifying moment just last week with my friend Vernon. I was talking with him about working through some emotions I was having about a decision to give up an event I've started to someone who really wants to take it over. I was just struggling with the idea of letting someone else take my idea and run with it in a slightly new direction, even if it was a direction I was already headed in. Should I let someone else have my creation? And he looked right at me and he said, think about it. This is who you are as an artist and as a person. You create things and then you let them go or give them away. He made the point that when we were young, maybe we're taking piano lessons and it's fun for a while because you make progress and the intrinsic joy comes from the mastering. And then later, when some things are mastered, the joy starts coming from outside sources in the form of praise and accolades. And I stopped him right there and I said, but that's not it for me. I don't care about that part. I don't necessarily like the accolades, and at times I'm even uncomfortable with them. I like the creating part and I like the sharing part. And the light bulb went on above my head. My joy comes from creating things and then letting them go. Side note, I felt instant and total relief and calm joy at the prospect of giving my event to my friend to grow and do with what she will. And it will be great, by the way. So as I said before, it is critical for us to have connections with people who can show us who we are, where we're going and how to get there, and to be still and listen. Oddly enough, it is also a little bit important to listen to those who may not be on your team, so to speak. If you've lived in the world at all, you know that there are always haters lurking about. I don't like to admit it, and I don't like to think about it for more than a minute or two, but those haters can actually be a help. Just as the cheerleading supporters can guide us to the places we should be, the haters can help us know where not to go. I received a text a while back that was written about me, but was intended for someone else. Yeah, there was some name calling and some undeniable in black and white expression of wishes for me to fail.
Oh no.
These people were literally hoping that my business and I would fail. So I read it, I laughed out loud. I read it to my colleague, and then I took some time to consider, was the name calling accurate? Had I deserved this? And in a short time and a few talks with my most important people, I decided, hell no, I didn't deserve that. And it was not accurate. Then I spent some time in stillness and listening to my own thoughts. Did it hurt my feelings? Of course, I'm a huge feeler. I felt that. But did I let it affect me? No, not more than a few minutes. Number one, I took into consideration their perspective, made a mental note that I was perceived poorly by someone and to be careful let that happen again. Number 2, I got reminded that no matter how hard I try, I cannot please everyone all the time, nor should I. And number 3, I took the crystal clear message. These are not my people. They do not make my life and business better. They do not fuel my creative fire, and if they were able, they would extinguish it. But I do not allow that. I do not allow others to affect my own light. I can dance the other way. I can do a different dance on a different stage. I can keep creating and giving my creations away to those who might appreciate them. So this is what I do. I try to be connected to the universe and its creations, as well as the people in it. I try to bring beauty and joy and peace and love, along with strength and compassion and grit and guts to the world. And I try to make those things connect with those folks who may need them. I create for the sake of creation, for the point of sharing, for my own expression. I don't tolerate nonsense, and if it gets in my path, I either move it aside or take a different path. I value the stillness in my life as much as the activity, probably more. I understand that I definitely do not have all the answers, nor do I need to. That the answers always come, and I can't hear them if I'm not listening. I know that I need to dance to survive. Even in this body, the one that betrays me most of every day, I must dance. It is part of the life and survival of my soul. And it is my favorite way to create. Makes me happy. I know that all work is good work. This is something my dad always said. And that if I am stuck or sad or bored, I should create something and or do something for someone else. Something my mom always said. While I'm wrapping up with quotes, I'm going to give you 3. This one is from George Bernard Shaw. This is the true joy in life, being used for a purpose recognized by yourself as a mighty one. Being a force of nature instead of a feverish, selfish little clod of ailments and grievances, complaining that the world will not devote itself to making you happy. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it what I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. I rejoice in life for its own sake. Life is no brief candle to me. It's a sort of splendid torch which I've got hold of for the moment and want to make it burn as brightly as possible before handing it on to future generations. From Twyla Tharp. Our ability to grow is directly proportional to an ability to entertain the uncomfortable. And from Elizabeth Gilbert. Choose curiosity over passion. Passion isn't always there, but we can always choose curiosity. You will have a creative life if you continuously, intentionally, always choose to be curious and allow your queries to be different from everyone else's. So I encourage everyone to take some time to be still and listen to your mentors, to the universe, to yourself, to stay connected to who and what is truly most important to your happiness. Ignore the societal screams of constant forward movement and momentum, and then dance on. See, it wasn't 2 hours.
I'd be totally fine with that. Another hour or so. We do have some time for Q&A. If folks do have questions, feel free to just raise your hand.
Are you allowed to give us any tips of the event or
Oh, sure.
what you had mentioned?
I love it.
Yeah.
So, I think I can. So So for the past 2 years, I had 2 annual events called the Everyday Goddess event, and Robin performed in it last year. So it was my idea and my creation, and it was a big creation. It was for women, but also, can you hear me fine? Anybody who wants to come and celebrate the feminine energy. And so we had music and art and dance and poetry and food, and it was just a whole big kind of festival, and for a few hours. And um, that's all I'm going to tell you about it. But one of my great friends is taking it over and going in more of a wellness direction because, and I was headed there because over this past year, on the other side of this wall, on the hallway, are the Serendipity Wellness Studios, and so we're, I think there are 9 providers on that side, and I wanted to, I'm doing everything I can to combine both sides of the building and make Serendipity all glom together. So it'll be more of a wellness thing, but still have an arts focus.
Love that.
And it's coming probably early March.
Great.
Yeah, thanks for asking. Did my pictures scroll?
Oh yeah.
Yes.
So that's a combination of, you might have recognized me in some of the blurry old 70s and 80s pictures, and real dancers, and my daughters who were real dancers. There's Twyla Tharp in there, that's her. No. That's Ben Vereen. He's from Lawrence Welk, do you remember?
Oh yeah.
Anybody? There's a woman in there, Alicia Graf Mack. I believe Barishnikov is in there. Audrey Hepburn's in there. I don't remember who else, but I just thought I really don't enjoy PowerPoint, and I definitely don't enjoy doing one. So I thought let me just show what inspires me, and let me give a little history of my own life. So that's what that was about.
Love that.
Yes.
I would love to know more about serendipity in this building, everything you have going on here.
Okay. I did say I would answer that. No, I'm happy to answer that. So in 2020, I was working as a hairstylist and chose to go into my own space because 2020, and I was across the street and downstairs under Artlandish, and I had a little small space, and it was just so great, and I was so happy to be by myself and safe and everything. And in there, I started with 5 friends' artwork, right? And I just thought, well, I have this room. I have a little gallery experience. Let me see if I can sell some art. And so that was going well. And after 9 months, I just wanted a little more elbow room. So this gigantic thing came open. And again, it did not seem like what somebody should do. But I mean, you guys, these walls were black, and there were 2 layers of beer carpet on this stage, and it was,
yeah, I forgot.
it was rough, I'll just say. And Vernon and I are not sure it wasn't a little bit haunted. It felt not great in here. And so paint is one of my favorite things. Paint can solve a lot of the world's problems. And so I took it on, and I used to have my hair salon where the bar is right there. And for the first almost 3 years, I did hair. We had events. I had a gallery. It was a cuckoo thing. But then later, taking over management of that side, I remodeled some of it in the past year and tried to attract more of a focused type of renter. So wellness was important to me, so that's who I've attracted. And I'm telling you, we have some first-rate people working So that's the Wellness Studios, all independent businesses, but all a part of Serendipity. And so we collaborate as much as possible, and it's going to be a lot more this year. And then this side we use as event venue, gallery. This room has rotating shows every 2 months, generally a professional artist, although next month it's going to be the Art Underground students from across the street. So, you know, I'm an old teacher, I can't resist that. And we use the lobby for gallery. If it's a wall, it's a gallery for me. So, and then the front part is kind of the gift gallery, but it's fine art and fine craft from mostly regional artists, but there are some from a little bit far-flung places. I just, the requirement is that it be mostly handmade. So, yeah, that's the long explanation of that. Yeah, a great time to come here and feel a different vibe is on a First Friday. So I always have live music here, the bar is open, we have usually a pop-up restaurant, and people are just coming and milling and moving around and you know, going all over the rest of the North Village Arts District too. And it's a really happy, energetic vibe, and so I encourage you to come to one of those if you haven't. Did you have a question?
Yeah, I have a question about your history. So you were saying when you were choir, one of the biggest informative things was when you had to raise your hand when you knew you missed the note. How do you incorporate that into, you know, being a business owner and your creative side today? What's that look like?
Oops. I mean, I think even if you're only just raising your hand to yourself.
Right.
And that was part of Arnold's lesson is, okay, singing along, oh shoot, okay, singing along. Like, that's how it was. And you just see hands, like, and then if he started to see hand, okay, then he would stop. And so I just try to take that, like, all right, I messed this thing up, keep moving. If I start to be raising my hand a lot, okay, really slow down and back up, change path. I think I try to encourage anybody who works with me and around me to do the same, so that, you know, there's no shame. Like, just let's just say what we're doing and how it's going and how it's not going, and be clear. I think I'm honest to a fault sometimes, and I'm open to a fault sometimes. So, but that's okay as well. That was an answer to your question.
Yeah. And it makes sense because it kind of goes back to what you were saying when when you were talking about surrounding yourself with the people that align you. Like, you don't want to be with people that don't understand you're raising your hand to say, hey, I messed up.
Right.
If
right.
they're not reciprocating.
Right, and yeah, they don't understand my method or where I'm coming from, or they don't want to understand. Yeah. Now, I didn't tell you that negative story to bring everybody down or cause shock and awe, but really, I felt it was important to include because I really did learn from that, and I mean, that's happened to me a bunch of times, not a text, but you know, people hurt your feelings or act stupid to you, and you do need to, all right, let me soak in this a minute, but not more than too many minutes.
Right.
You know. So I hope that was a helpful example and not just a snarky thing, because it wasn't meant to be. So.
Awesome. Hey, let's give it up one more time.
That was a lot of
Thank you all for coming out.
Thanks, you guys, for coming.
Yeah, we have a couple donuts if you want to grab on your way. But yeah, feel free to chat. We'll be breaking down. Thank you all.